Very good evening to you. Glad to say a sense of humour will survive on this show, whatever's going on anywhere else in the sporting world. And we've got two guys here in the studio tonight with smiles on their faces. I hope that's going to be the case all the way through until about 5 to 8, and for you at home for kind of varying reasons. One of the guys is one of those maybe sort of old-fashioned fan critics who started a trend in S6 way back in the early 90s, when I feel now the trend was for criticism where humour was king and things were in perspective. Hence the now legendary fanzine War of the Monster Trucks. Paul Taylor, one of the originals from there, still going because it's digital, joins me in the studio. And Simon Tracey. Now, Simon Tracey needs no introduction to Blades fans. Great goalkeeper, 382 appearances, a couple of promotions into the top flight, long career, great rivalry with Alan Kelly. Good evening, Simon. Glad you can make it at last.
Yes. Oh, good.
You've been on my hit list for a long, long time.
I know, you keep ringing me up, you keep bugging me.
I do, and you finally thought the only way to stop him is to come in. And I'm particularly delighted to see my team, Chesterfield, recent results, 2 back-to-back victories, Luton and away at Yeovil. Fantastic.
Certainly, yeah. Very important wins that we got in the last 2 games. It's got the teams above us quite close to us. Now it's for us to push forward and make sure we catch them, and now make sure we try and get beyond them.
Let's hope so. And for those that don't know, that can't be anybody maybe, goalkeeping coach is Simon at Chesterfield. Under Jack Lester, your former Bramall Lane mate, another ex-Blade. A start for him in management that's particularly challenging.
Certainly is. He's found the club at the bottom of the league adrift. He's came in. He's been very positive the way he wants to work. He's very hard working. He knows how his team wants to work. He knows what he wants from his team. His teams are extremely hard working. He wants them to play. So you know, it's not been a bad start. But obviously the transfer window's open, and he's been very busy trying to bring players in.
Yeah, he has. There's also a pursuit of Christian Dennis going on at the moment. I know very little about that other than what I read, but I'll mention it to you in passing later in the show, and probably you're as in the dark as I am. We'll talk also about the various goalkeepers that you've coached this season. Yeah, I mean, you had Jake Eastwood from Bramall Lane, you had Cameron Dawson from Sheffield Wednesday on loan, and now you've got Aaron Ramsdale, former Sheffield United goalkeepers at Bournemouth. So all of those topics will be interesting to talk over with you. Meantime, Paul Taylor, good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, War of the Monster Trucks. Some of you may not have seen it, but hundreds used to buy it in magazine form.
They did, yeah. We used to stand there outside the ground, flogging them on, taking some abuse, but a lot of people were up for it.
Yeah. And you were giving out a bit of I'm not sure it was abuse. You were gently chiding people, weren't you, in that magazine?
Yeah, we were. Yes, I think yeah, you're right. It was perhaps a sort of gentler way of doing it. And I think also because we all used to sit in somebody's front room, sticking bits of paper and sticking captions on and things, and we'd sense check things and think, is that going a bit too far? Are we going to get in trouble for that? And we'd perhaps pull stuff, whereas now you just bang stuff on Twitter and then before you know it, you're in all sorts of trouble. Yeah,
we're always with a sense of humour. War of the Monster Trucks, you know, it achieved its name through, well, I remember Wednesday had won the first trophy for 50 odd years in 1991, and what happened on TV that night?
Well, it was Leedshire Television who instead of showing instead of showing the celebrations after the break, said no, we're going to go and watch War of the Monster Trucks. And Matt Cooper, who originally set the fanzine up, he came up with that name, and I think everybody always remembers that now, and the fanzines helped to perpetuate that.
Yeah, certainly start that title. And you're 25 years old now, actually. I was just working out, and you're online.
Yeah, we got to a point where we were too old to stand on street corners selling it, so we went online.
Now have a quick look in a moment at a couple of your covers, irreverent covers that they are. Simon, where have you always stood as a player where fans' criticism is concerned, whether a phone in, a letters page, or a magazine, or anything like that?
I think it depends how it goes. If you're getting some criticism, you don't want to hear it. If you're getting some praise, you do want to hear it. So it's one of those. But no, look, it's part and parcel of the game. It's part and parcel of the game. You have to get on with it and just see, you know, that's it really.
You've always been a pretty laid-back character. Is there any that really got to you? Anything that got to you at any time that's been said?
No, not really. No, not at all. No.
I suppose what you don't see, you don't worry about if you don't go out of your way to see it or hear it.
I think probably I've got more hassle downtown on a Saturday night from the Sheffield Wednesday supporters, and not being in the right being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Really?
But yes, that was probably the more hassle I got.
Yeah, and now you know the right place.
Yeah, now I know the right place. Staying at home or staying local.
Yeah. Okay, coming for a pint after.
Yes.
Let's have a quick look at a couple of these covers from Paul Taylor's War of the Monster Trucks. Now here we are. One of my favourite ones. Paolo Pizza's off. Said that rather carefully. That was after his move to West Ham in '99 or thereabouts, wasn't it? From Sheffield Wednesday. Who came up with that one? Was that you?
That one was mine, I think. We were very blessed around that time. We had Paolo Di Canio playing for Wednesday and Neil Warnock managing United, and they were the gifts that kept on giving, really. Yes. So in a way, we were very sad to see him go because we just got miles and miles out of Paolo.
I've got this theory that Wednesday, a lot of them secretly like Neil Warnock, you know. Again, last weekend he was there, and people fell for it again, didn't he? Because he said to me, I went to wave to the fans at the pity, there weren't more of them there, they'd all gone home. And that's he said it with a big grin.
Yeah, and he didn't get his traditional chant until injury time at the end. So, you know, I think everybody'd forgotten he was there, really.
He was sorely disappointed.
He was very disappointed.
Neil, big character?
Certainly is. I played under him. Very good manager. Very good character, knows how to handle his players, puts an arm around them, digs them out when they have to. No, big character.
Yeah. In fact, it's interesting, your career at Sheffield United spanned the two most successful managers of the modern era. You start with Dave Bassett and end with Neil Warnock.
Yeah, certainly. I think that I come up in =88 and I had Dave Bassett for 7.5 years. So, you know, and I was a young kid who come up, and I was a 19-year-old who came up, and I didn't know no other way but apart from the Dave Bassett way.
Yeah.
To be fair, he had his team extremely well organised, extremely fit. Everyone knew their job. Everyone knew their responsibility. That was all I knew. And it was a sad day for me when Dave Bassett finally left.
Yeah, and plenty of managers in between. Is the present manager, Chris Wilder, the closest to Dave Bassett in some ways, in terms of his methods?
Certainly, I think Chris has done a fantastic job there. He's same as Dave Bassett when he went in at Sheffield United. He's got the support behind him. His team is playing very attractive football. They've got a good way of playing. He doesn't mind changing his system. He changed it very early on when he came from Northampton. He was playing a 4-2-3-1. He was quite quick to change it. After 3 or 4 games, I think he went to Gillingham and he changed it to a 5 at the back, and he's never looked back. The supporters have been well behind him. They've done fantastically well, and you know, in my opinion, they probably slightly overachieved. But that's all down to him. I think they're a fantastic team to watch at the moment.
Can they go up?
I certainly think so. Yeah, I think he's bought well in the transfer market again. So you know, he's got the players to buy into him. It seems like he puts his arms around them when they need to. He digs them out when he has to. He's very honest. But that's what the supporters like. He's very honest in the press with them. So they can relate to him. The Sheffield United supporters can relate to him. He's got the whole place buzzing, and hopefully, you know, when you look at it, the training ground's fantastic. The ground's up to date now. You know, I remember playing there with 3 sides, but the ground's up to date. They've got a hotel. They've got everything there. Now they can spend the money on the pitch now.
Yeah, it's a bit of grudging admiration with the nods coming from Paul Taylor.
He's not a bad manager, Wilder. That's as far as I'll go, Alan, really. But he's not a bad manager. You know, you could see him going further and higher, really. But it's just that how much he wants to stay doing them lot, really. Yeah. We'll
come to Joslu Hukai in a moment. Just the other cover that I was going to show is another irreverent one to your neighbours in Sheffield. There we are. I don't know what was it? 1993, Lord Lucan Alive, found in Sheffield United trophy room. I will make no further comment. Simon Tracey might wish to.
Well, no, I'm not really, because I don't think there was much in them days. I think we did get to 2 promotions, which was in '89 and 90. Yeah, we got 2 promotions, 2 quick promotions. But apart from that, I don't think we had that much to cheer about. But we was a team what probably overachieved as well. We got into the top division and we stayed there, and for a limited bunch on probably one of the lowest budgets in probably what was the Premier League. So.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You had the distinction of being the first, and this is where Twitter, Twitter enlightens you. See, you're not on it, so you miss out on all these things, including a comment from your old rival Alan Kelly, which I'll read out in a minute. It's worth repeating. But also, somebody said, "Are you aware that your guest Simon, he was the first goalkeeper ever sent off in the Premier League, August '92?"
Yeah, I really didn't think. I really didn't want you to ask that question. Probably one that when I look back at it, I feel that I think Dave Bassett called me the brains of a rocking horse that day.
You did actually.
When I got sent off, it was a schoolboy error.
Against Spurs? Is this at White Hart Lane?
It was at White Hart Lane. I'd been booked earlier for time wasting, and then I got caught outside my. No, I actually got a back pass, and it was, to be fair, it was one of the back pass rule just came in. And it's probably the best rule that's come in football, to be fair, the back pass rule.
Made it more exciting.
Yeah, made it more exciting.
Not good for goals.
Yes, no, but and it just came in, and I decided, and the ball. I got a teammate who passed the ball back to me, and I went to kick it out, had a touch, and then I kicked it out, but I didn't put it in. I didn't put it in the stand. I only put it to the ball boy. The ball boy picked it up. He threw it to the Tottenham player, and I got caught out on the touchline, and I wiped both of them out. And I thought it was no other than a red card. It was a fair cop. And Glyn Hodges always makes me laugh because he said that I think Alan Kelly come on. Alan Kelly come on that game, and Glyn Hodges got substituted, and he said, "I've never been substituted for a goalkeeper before."
I mean, these days there would have been more than just a 3-match suspension. Well, you got a 3-match suspension for a
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get a 3-match suspension. Yeah.
Yeah, clearing out the ball boy like that. You had quite a few red cards. We'll come on to some nicer things in a minute. But
yes, I did. I think I've got sent off 4 times. Altogether, but that was probably because the way we wanted to play. We played a high line, and we played that. But we played, and I was brought up with it that where the offside rule was that when you played high and the offside it was an offside line. Then it wasn't that part of the pitch is an offside line. So we used to play it, and I used to talk to sweep up. And
in every sense.
Yes. And sometimes I didn't quite make it.
No. You were also involved. You were sent off in the Battle of Bramall Lane. That's just coming into my head, weren't you?
Yes, I started that. Yes, I think it was someone who Keith Kell let the header go, and I tried to cover him, and I handled the ball outside the box, and I was the first one to go.
Right, okay. I've not brought you in here to discuss all these bad things.
There's going
to be some good stuff to come. You mentioned about the change of formation that Chris Wilder did, and fans and even some journalists were screaming out for the previous Sheffield Wednesday manager to change accordingly, which he didn't do. What do we know? He's gone off to Swansea and had two great victories. And this guy, Jos Luhukai, he's come in and done what we were all asking for, yeah?
Yeah, it's. I mean, once we got used to who he was, because none of us had heard of him, somebody said he looked like the keyboard player out of Sparks. Somebody came to fix your plumbing in a dodgy 70s movie. But once we'd all got used to him, nice, quiet determination, and everybody says, Alan, that he fixes the defence first. And then works from there. And from what we can see of it, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, so, as you say, he's got a quiet strength about it. He's an undemonstrative character, isn't he, on the line? He's not as animated as Carlos. Doesn't have the charisma that maybe Carlos
But he's not getting sent to the stands every other week and blaming everything on penalties.
True. So, I mean, he started well. I think, from a journalistic point of view, I can see the common sense of his appointment and and the way he's going about it.
Yeah, really impressive what we've seen so far. I mean, he's not got an awful lot to work with. I mean, with having so many injuries and stuff. So really, given the raw material he's got, I think he's made a really good start.
See today that Bannon's on the way back, among others. I think it augurs quite well. You got any views on Sheffield Wednesday that are printable or repeatable?
I actually did go to the derby, to be fair, and I thought Sheffield Wednesday spoilt it, to be fair. No, look, they both set up. They cancelled each other out. Sheffield Wednesday back three didn't come out of their slots. They stayed there. He got them well drilled, and Sheffield United couldn't break them down.
No. They couldn't on the night. It was a better result than I think most Wednesdayites were fearing.
Yeah.
And where do you stand, just briefly, because I'm going to write a column on this, whether people want me to or not, the comparisons, Carvalhal to the Houquet, and where the line of fairness lies. I mean, seriously, you know, you can't dismiss one person's work on the basis of 6 months when the best part of 2 years has been pretty good, can you?
No, I put a positive tweet out about Carlos the other week, and I got the closest I've ever been to being trolled on Twitter. So a lot of people are, you know, are revising. I think it's very easy to forget the fantastic work he did, certainly for a season and a half. But then I think people have then moved into that headspace of saying, well, actually, this season he's been taking us backwards. And so he's actually undone some of the good work. It's not like he got us to that point and then left. It's people think he's gone that far and then come back a bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think we can't forget the fantastic work he does. And you're right, it's very charismatic. I mean, the most fun I've ever seen on this sofa was when you had Carlos in those couple of times. You know, nice guy, talks a lot of sense. I'm you know, good luck to him at Swansea, but I know a lot of people have sort of taken a bit against him.
Well, I think most managers get diminished after they leave, and I thought it was the right decision, I have to say.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm ever going to go out and say, sack a manager that I work with, because I don't think it's part of the remit. However, once it was taken, I think it was the right way for Sheffield Wednesday to go.
I think what upset people...
they had to, really.
Yeah, it was the fact that he got the Swansea job so quickly after. I think everybody went, OK, fair enough, everybody's accepted it's not working, he's walked away, but then people began to think, well, hang on, was that all lined up then? And would he have just hung on and hung on and hung on unless that had come up? And I think that's what's sort of soured it a bit, really.
Well, you get an opposite as well. When you had one type of manager, you often get somebody who's a bit opposite in terms of the discipline and what he expects in terms of the training. But different things work at different times.
Absolutely. The fitness thing, I think, is really important. He's certainly, you know, he's a manager who wants to get them all fit. He could do a Howard Wilkinson, get them all out on the moors running about.
A new name on you, Jocelyn Houquet, somebody that all of us said were left field. But you get a lot of that in football now, don't you? You get a lot of appointments, and we don't know
who they are. No, certainly. Like, I obviously never heard of him before. He's to be fair, I've been to 2 of their games because I went and watched the Sheffield derby, and then I watched Sheffield Wednesday against Carlisle because I went to watch Carlisle because they're former employees. I went and watched them there. Set up the same way, not to concede, and that's what he's doing at the moment, not to concede goals. And that's where he looks like he's building from the back. And to be fair to him, they have a big list of injuries, but they have a very, very big budget as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, those two sort of balance out in terms of sympathy, and I think Carlos did make a mistake in overemphasising the injuries when I think Houquet is proving that even with a smaller squad you can get some better results from it.
We could do with something at the other end of the pitch, though. That is true.
Yeah, it's true. Although there were some fantastic chances against Cardiff which should have been buried. There were 4 of them at least, maybe 5.
Confidence thing, I think.
Alan Kelly, your great rival. We'll talk more about him and in part 2. Simon came on Twitter to give a sort of a considered assessment of you, which was the loudest snoring roommate I encountered in 20 years. I actually wore ear defenders. And then as an afterthought, great keeper. Put at the end.
Well, to be fair, we did room together, and one time I did find his mattress in the bathroom.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and he still stayed, and I don't know how he did it, but he still stayed and wanted to be my room partner.
Did he?
Really? I don't know why.
He was trying to put something into your late night cocoa so that you weren't going to be fit then next, because you had a fantastic ride. You were such good keepers. There was just nothing between you, really.
It was an excellent rivalry. Alan came. I can't remember what year he came, but he actually came. I started the season, and I dislocated my shoulder, and I was out for a good. I think it was 14, 15 months. Right. And the time I come back, he was well established. He had an outstanding 12, 14 months.
Same thing happened in reverse. We'll pick this up in 5 minutes because, believe it or not, it's half time. We're coming up to a 5-minute break. Thanks for being there. Do come back. See you then.